When a young Russian mother's baby was born without eyes, she made the heart-wrenching choice to leave him, worried that he would never find a loving home. The orphanage started a campaign to find Sasha a family through adoption. Then something incredible happened that would completely transform his life. At 31 weeks pregnant, Sasha's birth mother went for a routine checkup. She was both excited and nervous about becoming a mother, as she didn't have much and lacked experience in childcare. She worried if motherhood would come naturally to her and if she could provide for her child. During the checkup, she noticed the nurses looking concerned and calling a doctor into the room. She started to feel panicked, not prepared for the news the doctor was about to deliver. The doctor told her that there seemed to be a problem with her baby's eyes. He told the young woman that she should prepare herself for the likelihood that her little boy would be born without eyeballs. The young woman stumbled out of the hospital feeling lost. All the way home, she contemplated what life would be like for her and her son. As the due date approached, the young woman faced a tough decision. She didn't feel capable of caring for her son, fearing she lacked the skills he needed. She decided to put him up for adoption, feeling sad but believing it was the best choice. With no support from family or friends and overwhelmed by his rare medical condition, she felt she had no other option. When she gave birth, she couldn't bear to look at her son, afraid of becoming attached to a child she couldn't care for. With a heavy heart, she entrusted him to the doctors and nurses, leaving the hospital in tears, unsure if she had made the right decision. Sasha was born without eyeballs, an extremely rare condition affecting only a few children in Russia. Despite the odds, Sasha surprised doctors. The condition usually comes with other serious health issues, but Sasha was healthy and resilient, defying expectations. He soon captured the hearts of all the staff at the hospital, who marveled at how special he was. The boy wouldn't stop smiling. Sasha had 2 benign cysts on his forehead, but doctors weren't concerned and quickly and easily removed them. It was quite remarkable that the little boy didn't seem to have anything else wrong with him beyond having no eyeballs. Once doctors were sure that little Sasha was completely healthy, he was handed over to a local orphanage in Tomsk, Russia. Doctors and nurses were saddened to see Sasha leave and were deeply concerned about what life would hold for him. They knew that even though he was healthy, a medical condition like his wouldn't make it easy for him to get adopted. As the medical staff waved goodbye to Sasha, they couldn't help but feel heartbroken at his sad situation. Sasha soon charmed all the staff at the orphanage, who were pleased to see that he was a very smiley little boy despite his difficult start in life. On days when things felt tough, a bright smile from Sasha could soon lift the mood of the orphanage. The orphanage knew that Sasha would thrive in the care of a loving family, but finding him that special family would be incredibly hard. The hospital where Sasha was born stayed in close contact with the orphanage as they began to formulate a care plan for him. Due to having no eyeballs, the little boy would need tiny orbs implanted to stop any facial deformities. As he grew, the implants would have to be replaced every 6 months to adapt to Sasha's changing face. There was no chance that Sasha would ever see, but being born blind meant it would be easier for him to adapt in the right environment. There was no reason why Sasha couldn't thrive the same as a child without his condition. The eye orb implants would ensure that Sasha's face looked the same as any other child's, giving him the most normal life possible in his circumstances. One particular nurse at the orphanage had grown very attached to Sasha, and the thought of him not finding a home broke her heart. Being a loving and compassionate person, she decided to travel to St. Petersburg with Sasha when he had his operation. That way, the familiar person would be present when the little boy woke up. She knew he wouldn't be able to see her and he was still a baby, but she felt sure that he would sense her presence and be comforted by it. The kind nurse patiently waited in the waiting room of the hospital. She said silent prayers, hoping that everything would go smoothly. It seemed like such a big operation for a tiny little boy. Thankfully, after a few hours, doctors informed the nurse that everything had gone to plan and Sasha was doing very well. As soon as she walked into the hospital room, a huge smile broke out on Sasha's face. It seemed that nothing could dull the brave little boy's spirit. The nurse couldn't help but smile back, even though she knew Sasha couldn't see. She got the feeling that he would know how happy she was. With a proper plan in place for Sasha's medical care, the orphanage now began the difficult task of trying to find the little boy a loving family. One that could deal with the operations the little boy would need twice a year, but also a family that could see past his medical condition and love the little boy. No one anticipated just how heart-wrenching the task would be, though. Every time a family visited the orphanage, Sasha would often be met with pity or even disgust. Some families didn't seem interested in hearing more about Sasha beyond his blindness. They missed out on learning about his beautiful smile, his loving nature, how he enjoyed playing with other children, and his love for swimming. People only saw his disability and nothing else. As Christmas approached, the orphanage usually saw many children find new families in time for the holidays. But with Christmas decorations going up, there was a sadness lingering because Sasha, a happy and loving boy, might spend his first Christmas at the orphanage. The staff wanted all their children to find happy homes, but Sasha had a special place in their hearts. They knew a family could provide the Christmas joy the orphanage could match. The staff came up with a plan. They needed to find a way for people to see Sasha for who he really was and not just his disability. The nurse who had traveled with Sasha had an idea. She thought a journalist could write a piece about Sasha to share on social media. While many thought this could help Sasha get noticed, they were also concerned about his privacy and not turning him into a media sensation. It was a delicate situation that needed to be handled carefully. The search for a journalist to tell Sasha's story began. When the staff met Svetlana, they knew she was the right person. They created a profile for Sasha, showing him as a happy baby who responded with joy to familiar voices. Meanwhile, Svetlana wrote an article to show how special Sasha was. Soon after Svetlana's article was published in the local paper, global news outlets picked up the story of the happy baby looking for a home for Christmas. The orphanage was amazed at the interest Sasha was receiving. They hoped the article would attract families in Russia, but they never expected interest from around the world. Sasha went from having no interest to the whole world falling in love with him. The orphanage staff were overwhelmed by the response and began the difficult task of going through adoption requests for Sasha. They received many requests from families outside of Russia. While they were happy people were interested in Sasha, they preferred he go to a family in Russia, where authorities could closely monitor his care. Sorting through the applications, authorities faced tough decisions. Allow Sasha to be adopted outside of Russia or keep him at the orphanage. However, just before Christmas, a family in Russia applied to adopt Sasha. Although his story was still spreading globally, this was the first viable application from within Russia. Authorities carefully reviewed the application, wanting the perfect match for Sasha. Everything seemed right, so the family was invited to meet Sasha at the orphanage. The big day arrived at the orphanage, and everyone was nervous. They hoped the meeting would go well, but didn't want to get too excited in case things didn't work out. When the family arrived, everyone felt at ease. The family was warm and loving, and Sasha, the little boy they were meeting, immediately smiled. The family spent the day playing with Sasha and learning about his medical needs. Sasha needed regular operations, but this didn't deter the family. They were more interested in getting to know Sasha beyond his blindness. They accepted that his blindness was a part of him, but believed he could live a normal life like any other child. This is all the orphanage had hoped for Sasha. Just before Christmas, Sasha officially joined his new family. Everyone who had met Sasha was thrilled at the wonderful Christmas surprise. Details about the family were kept secret to protect their privacy, but some information hinted at the happy life Sasha would now have. People were happy that Sasha had found a family, and they wished him and his new parents well. Svetlana, the journalist who had shared Sasha's story, wrote another article to update everyone on the happy ending. In her article, she described Sasha's adoption as a special Christmas miracle. She revealed that Sasha not only had loving parents but also sisters to play with. The family had a summer house where Sasha would spend time with his sisters, hinting at a life full of happiness. Sasha's new family was thrilled to have him. They embraced the challenges of having a blind child and were determined to show Sasha that his blindness wouldn't limit him. His sisters treated him like any other brother, laughing and playing together. As the Christmas lights twinkled in Sasha's new home, his family knew that even though he couldn't see them, Sasha could feel the magic of Christmas. Sasha, who was once alone and uncertain, was now part of a loving family. It was a Christmas miracle that touched the hearts of everyone who knew Sasha.